Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Dragonfly by Leila Meacham. And this is a World War II historical fiction novel following 5 Americans who were recruited by the OSS to go train as spies in Nazi-occupied France during World War II. And I found the synopsis of this just to be very intriguing. I think especially like the espionage-based historical fictions are especially interesting, and I find them to be super stressful just because of like the fear of people finding out. So I was very intrigued, but generally how the story starts out is that I think it's like 20 years after the war, and the person who was in charge of the team that was known as Dragonfly is just kind of reading through a book, and he realizes that one of the topics that they're discussing is his team in particular and their contributions to kind of the war effort during kind of that era. And everything is pretty much spot on in terms of detail except something else, saying that all 5 members of the Dragonfly team survive, which is not true because based on their understanding one of their team members did die. So this kind of causes him to really question everything that happened. He's not supposed to, but he contacts the surviving members of the team and they are trying to figure out what happened. So while this is all going on, you get flashbacks of basically the recruitment of these 5 people and then their time in Nazi-occupied France and essentially what kind of led to the supposed execution of one of their members. And this honestly was really well done. I was totally engrossed with this story, especially the air of mystery pertaining to what if this person is actually alive and like did they survive. I was just really kind of gripped in from the beginning. And what is unique too is that we follow so many different people and characters from this. So we follow not only the 5 different perspectives of the kind of team members of Dragonfly, but we also follow his commanding officer. We also follow other people that are intermixed either within the resistance in France or are the Nazis, and so you can kind of get their perspective as they're trying, like they kind of figure out that these people, like there's something off with these people, they might be spies, so you kind of get their perspectives kind of interwoven in, and it adds to just the complexity and lies and kind of webs that these spies had to create in order to keep their identities safe. And it was honestly such a joy. And what I think was really interesting too is that every person that was recruited and part of Dragonfly has some external kind of motive as to why they want to like fight for their country. One person's fiance was killed by Germans who was part of the Royal Air Force. One person's father is somewhere in France. Like everyone has an external motive as to why they want to be a part of this, and so they use their opportunity being in France to kind of get that done, which I thought was really well done. But yeah, this is like a very solid World War II historical fiction novel. I think especially too because it does focus on so many different characters and kind of the espionage side of the war. It's very kind of fresh and different from a lot of these stereotypical especially now historical fiction that is very much focused on like women's stories, but I think this one was very different from the other one. Like the only one I can kind of think of that is similar to this is the Alice Network, but I feel like they're completely different based on what they're kind of spying on. But yeah, it was honestly a lot of fun, and I think because it's told from so many different perspectives, you can kind of see it provides you a clear picture of what is actually going on and the maneuverings of the German side, the resistance side, the espionage side, and it was a lot of fun. So, and it was really well written as well. Like it was totally atmospheric. I could just see myself with these characters, feel the stress of these characters having the fear of being caught constantly, and just their kind of connection that they had with each other that they weren't necessarily supposed, like they were told not to have this connection with each other and actually want to kind of interact with these people post-war, because they wanted to do like a 1-year anniversary after the war and 20 years. So like I think that also makes it very unique, because I think a lot of like what they were taught was just to kind of disconnect themselves from the people that they're with, but these group of people became their family, which I really liked. But if you are looking for like a really fun historical fiction with like told from many different perspectives and kind of on the spy side, I think this will be for you. My only complaint was that there were so many characters in here, it was hard to keep track. And not so much the girl spy characters, because there was 2 of them, it was just the 3 guys that I just couldn't keep straight in my mind. Not only do we have to know them by their code name, we have to know them by their like spy name and then their actual name, and they do provide like a cast of characters. And maybe that was just me, but I just had a hard time keeping everyone straight and then kind of figuring out, okay, like what is their motive again for like why they're here. But you also get like the Germans, the French, and explanations of German military organizations. So that was like my only thing. It was hard to keep track of who was who, especially because their code names all started with L, and I was only able to remember one of them because it was like very obvious which one was which. But nevertheless, I still really like this. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was a really good World War II historical fiction novel. So if you're looking for something new, different, kind of the intense of like a spy novel, then this is perfect for you. And I definitely want to check out her other books as well, because I really enjoyed this. So yeah, like I said, really enjoyed it, and I think you guys will as well. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know in the comments below if you read this book and what you thought about it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.